If it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
You gonna offer Joe coffee? I mean, you're gonna go. We never splurge. We never splurge. We got water. That's not good. I got Michael's of Brooklyn sauce if you'd like it. I got Michael's of Brooklyn here, and we got maple syrup if you want it. Joe Borelli. Welcome back, Joey. How are you, man?
Good morning, Joe. I actually only did come for the coffee. I mean, the new coffee machine that the station has had for the past few months is
great.
Superb.
It is great. And if you want, too, I have some Vinny Racuglia coffee, too. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's very, very special as well. We always appreciate the Vinny.
Nothing like coffee from a funeral director.
and potatoes and eggs, nonetheless, too.
Oh.
That's right. He was here for the day I brought in the DeFontes.
Councilman Joe Borelli, minority leader of the New York City Council. I don't know how you live in this environment. God bless you. Thank you for what you do. You make so much sense. I think if you weren't there kind of trying to right the ship, first of all, before we get to the commission, the statute commission, which is just so bizarre to everybody around the country, by the way. They go, what, they really do that in New York? Can't a politician say, no, don't take down our statues? Don't take down the statues that are the iconic symbol of the Italian-American community, the foundation of the United States of America with other ethnicity, the mosaic? It celebrates the mosaic through the Italian-American community. Take down the statue. No, even Governor Cuomo says don't take the statue down. Before we get there, Joe Borelli, tell me what we were talking about before we went on the air, if you would, about at the City University of New York.
Oh, yeah. So sort of part and parcel to this debate over statues and the appropriateness of public art, John Jay College, which is a college known for educating law enforcement career enthusiasts. Our police commissioner was an alumni. The chief of the fire department is an alumni. They have specific programs for the NYPD. So this school decided it would be a great idea, not just a great idea, but an appropriate idea, to decorate the lobby with artwork that was done and made by prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, but even including those who, I mean, one of the people was Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's right-hand man. I mean, this is someone who knew about 9/11, who was probably involved to some degree in the planning of it. 67 faculty and students, so student alumni from John Jay College, died on 9/11. And to me, this is spiking the football. I mean, we wouldn't go to the Mandalay Bay Hotel and expect to see the Stephen Paddock poetry reading. I mean, it's insulting.
Who comes up with these plans? Who comes up with this idea? Who could get an inkling in their brain of something so bizarre?
I don't know. And the problem is that I am proud to be a CUNY graduate. I got a graduate degree from the College of Staten Island. I teach at the College of Staten Island. I'm proud of public education in this city. But there's just like the greatest hits of CUNY lately. We had the teacher who tweeted out he was proud to teach future dead cops. We had the other professor saying if you had a white nuclear family, you were perpetuating white supremacy. We had Brooklyn College last week who said if you're a police officer, you can't pee in our bathrooms. We had the other professor who was throwing garbage cans at cops. We have Linda Sarsour, the anti-Semitic keynote speaker. I mean, I don't know what got in the water in CUNY over the past, say, 18 months or so, but this is a school that I mean, just, so many people in our municipal government, just city workers and great people have gone to Baruch College, all these wonderful schools we have. And now we're dealing with this sort of thing.
Under what jurisdiction do they fall? With Albany or with New York City?
They are a city. The mayor appoints a lot of the people on the CUNY board, but they are an independent board that governs the school essentially.
So, and of course, they're probably all socialists. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not.
But you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is the American
good point.
College institutions. Sure. We expect them to be liberal, but this is beyond that. This is well beyond that.
God, that is. Well, thanks for fighting the fight. Do you stop? And also, that's true. Why? What was the thing with the the bathrooms that the cops couldn't use? The bathrooms of what? The students?
And to their credit, the school administration put a little damper on that. But
I would hope so.
If you're a student, this is anybody listening out there who's in college right now. If you can't handle seeing a police officer washing his or her hands at the restroom sink, then you have bigger problems than the math final you're about to take in your life. I mean, this is, you don't deserve to graduate from a school that will give you a degree saying you're a smart person. You just shouldn't deserve it.
My Lord. Thank you, Joe, for fighting the fight in that regard. Now, what are you expecting to happen today at the Monument Commission hearing in the borough of Frankie Five Boroughs, Staten Island.
Well, no surprises. We're going to have a bunch of people angry about Christopher Columbus and other statues coming down. I mean, the real story about this Monument Commission is sort of how we got here and why it exists. This is really a commission. It should be titled the Commission to Help Bill de Blasio Back Out of a Hole. Because this is a guy who is going to Iowa, I think this week or next week, wants to run for president. Look, the mayor of New York City is always considered for president, and God bless him in that regard. But he's smart enough to realize he doesn't want to be the statue-tearing down guy. He knows this is something that will brand him throughout the course of the Democratic primary, even the talk of who's being considered. And he has to have this commission now to come up with a way to say Christopher Columbus statue should stay. All this could have been solved, and I'm not the biggest fan of Governor Cuomo, but if you took the Cuomo lead,
that's right,
where you said, okay, we're having a discussion over the legacy of slavery, and maybe that's a good conversation to have. Maybe we shouldn't be putting these particular statues. But we'll stop at Christopher Columbus. We're going to keep the Columbus statue up. Thank you. But no, Bill de Blasio and Melissa Mark Viverito, they played right into it. They played right into it and said, yeah, he should certainly be on the chopping block. And here we are. And now we're paying this commission and setting up with taxpayer dollars to find a way to back people out of these political holes.
And Al's dressing up as Pocahontas this morning to go over to the hearing. Is that a good idea?
Al, I don't want to see you dressed in any deerskin.
I won't. Trust me.
I'm going to go back to the commission, but I just love this president when he does things like that. He's with Native Americans and he does the Pocahontas joke. Isn't he just like the loving uncle, like Uncle Donald?
The problem is that the majority of the country just chuckles it off and moves on, and that's what I think irks the people in the Washington Post and the New York Times. That's what irks them so much that people could just say, he called her Pocahontas. Yeah, maybe that was a little inappropriate, but we're going to move on. The Washington Post and the New York Times just want to generate this outrage that it just doesn't take off sometimes.
It never does. It never does. And God forbid they give the president credit for honoring these great warriors, these Navajo warriors who broke the codes in the Second World War.
One word out of probably the 2,000 he said on these Navajo code talkers, I mean, who were just legends, and this is what the focus is about. And if he didn't say that, there would be no coverage of the Navajo
That's exactly
code
right.
talkers.
They wouldn't do it at all. Hey, Joe, so with the commission, how are the hearings going in the other boroughs, and where are we in this regard?
So today is the fifth and final hearing in Staten Island. It's at 10 o'clock today at Borough Hall. So if you're sharpening your pitchforks and getting your torch ready to go down to Borough Hall and express your anger, I would say it's a great idea for people on Staten Island. Like I said, the other commissions, there were no surprises. There were people there. I mean, a few people had opinions that some statues should come down, and that's why we're having public hearings. But the majority of people said that this is not something that should be done as a matter of course, where we need to start destroying public art that has otherwise been there for generations.
Joe Borelli, fighting the fight. I'll let you go, Joey. We appreciate you taking the time to come in live. Congratulations on your reelection.
Big win, thank you.
How can a Republican get elected in New York City with 80% of the vote? God bless you, brother.
It takes a lot of time standing out in front of supermarkets, and not just because you want the best deals. I mean, ShopRite in Tottenville, by the way, great deals, everyone.
Michael's of Brooklyn, right there. You can get Michael's of Brooklyn at ShopRite.
But yeah, it's a lot of time standing outside in front of supermarkets and knocking on doors and meeting people, and just honestly being honest with people. Just people ask me all the time, when is my street getting paved? I don't know, probably 5 years. Just to be honest with people and not give them the line, not feel like you're just stringing them along and giving them some talk. So that's always been my thing.
Joe Borelli's on the right side. Councilman Joe Borelli, minority leader of the New York City Council, contributor to The Hill. You see him on Fox News all the time. You're listening around the world on the AM970theanswer.com or across the United States. The kid's a star. You watch Joe Borelli. Joe, thanks for your service to the city of New York. Bless you, buddy. Joe Borelli right there. Appreciate it. Let's jump the big out.
Everybody knows this guy. No, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.